Welcome back, everyone. Last game of the night. I know it's sad, but you know what? This might just be the cream of the crop. Fat Pikachu are against it in this one, 0-5 for the season. They're looking for their first win, but they're up against it. Super late reveal, looking really solid last time out. Anti stealing the Baron. Wow, what a guy that is. I think it was said that second time stolen the Baron with Set and looking for that third. So hopefully it doesn't have to come to that. And again, I'm joined by Zen Zen. Do we think that Fat Pikachu are going to pull this one off tonight, Zen Zen? What do we think?
Oh man, Lamb. I really hope that they do. I think Fat Pikachu is my favorite team in the league. For those of you who are not keeping up with FOF Connect, which is our newsletter thing that we tend to take out and do player interviews and stuff with, one of the things that immediately caught my eye about Fat Pikachu is that they are full committed to being the absolute best Pikachu team that they can be. Not only do they hover Kennen before every single lock-in, they also did
There it
all of
is.
their interviews in in the voice of Pikachu, which was fantastic. And do my eyes deceive me, or do I see a B1 Kennen for FP? Oh man, oh my eyes deceive me.
Yeah,
I've been
that
bamboozled.
it was
Okay.
blending. It was blending. I was kind of on the fence as well. I didn't want to call it, but look, it's gonna be the it's gonna be the Graves instead. It's uh it's phenomenal. Give us that every single time. Get the fans on the edge of the seat. They want to see the cannon. And I mean, if you're called Fat Pikachu, you should be running this every game. That's just my 2 cents in it. But look, obviously, wow, it might be the jungle matchup that we're going to see here. Zen Zen Graves into the Lilia.
Yeah, so this is very exciting. Also, something to note about these teams, you may notice a jungler coming to super late reveal. Abdul was formerly known as Pure Llama, so a player that has been well established for their team. However, as a result of that, because they did not announce the name change in time, they have lost one of their bans. So only able to ban Sundubu's signature Oriana and the Cane away from Doyon. Doyon looking to lock in the Graves, which is a fantastic character, gives them a lot of flexibility. And Doyon has really been the heart of FP thus far, so I'm excited to see that powerful pickup. Abdul locking in the Lilia is exciting and interesting, and Tef gonna be playing the Rakan today.
And just to touch on the Lilia, and even the Graves matchup, right? These are two junglers that can most definitely take over the game. Lilia becomes extremely hard to even keep up with. Bambi bouncing all over the place, and before you know it, puts you to sleep like Khabib. And you find yourself in a world of heart. But look, the Graves can definitely extend that heart straight back. Getting a few items on the Graves can certainly push that narrative if they want to go that way. But the MF, the Ash coming in, that's an extremely strong bot lane duo for the side of Fat Pikachu. So looking for a lot of prio in that bot lane. The poke composition definitely coming through. The Rakan, of course, is going to help with that. If the engage is required, then Ash is certainly a target for immobility to get the Lilia into the game.
Yeah, and Luru is on the signature Twitch. I am astonished that this made it through the pick and ban, all the way to R3. Luru has looked very, very good, very practiced on this Twitch, delivered trickle down economics, our very first loss back in week one, day one of the of the Mythic League. So this is a character that I think has a lot of power, particularly up against the Ash Misfortune, which gives a lot of control in the lane, but can also just be popped off on at any time when Luro gets to that level 6 and unlocks that ultimate.
And it's worth mentioning too, Tef going to be back in the starting lineup. We've seen Anti filling in at support with that one the last time. So SLR coming out with a starting support player this game is pretty important going into things. And now Tef really does like those hard engaged champions, right? Rakan definitely fits that bill. So going into an Ashen and MF, going to feel very comfortable with that one. We'll see how that pans out. But really, it's all on Fat Pikachu. What do they want to take here, Zen Zen, to round this composition out? Did they go for comfort, or did they go for things that are going to help peel the Ash, the MF, and the Graves and try and keep them as safe as they can here?
Well, I think that, Fat Pikachu has some options to lock in here. They can either draft a front line for their triple ranged characters, or they could go perhaps the route that we saw in the previous game where they locked a bunch of ranged characters and, played sort of a disengagey style. It looks like securing the front line is on the docket, so it's going to be the Maokai. This could be for either Stormbless or Kaisi. If I had to guess, it's probably going to Kaisi. I think she's done a great job on the Maokai so far. I also want to direct your attention to Guilty's Blind Xerath. This has been a character that has been storming both Heroic and Mythic League, has looked extremely comfortable on that character. We have seen SLR drafted and not always find success. If a player is able to play a consistent enough game, they can take it down. And Sundubu going to be on the victor in that matchup. I think that's going to be a pretty even match. I'm looking at Guilty to be the one to sort of land those skill shots
Ooh.
and maybe take over if they're given the opportunity to.
And that's going to be an Aurelia that's going to be locked in there too. Now, I want to draw your attention to this Victor Zerath, and rightly so, as Zen has said, that this is a matchup that we've seen previously, right? Last time out as well, I think it was Cubby's Victor. Who can forget that one?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's literally going into the same team that Rex actually played against, and they got that dub against, right? Anti will remember that, unfortunately. Sorry to raise it again, friend, but it's not to be scoffed at either. They have both very similar play stances. They don't want to be in the middle of the fight. They kind of just want to be around the radius of it and try and put as much damage down as they can. But Victor can definitely get to that point where he is one shot in those carries, and even to the point where he's chunking out those tankier members like the Aurelia, who will be along with the Rakan as well. So they do have that scaling insurance in the mid lane. And for Sondubu, it's going to be one of those games. If you can put this game on your back and carry it from the mid lane, it's going to really look good for Fat Pikachu in this one.
Yeah, I think that the victor has a ton of um, a ton of agency in this game because you are on the control mage, and Super Elite Reveal has a lot of sort of mid-range characters that Victor would love to sort of prey on. With the exception of the Xerath, everything is going to be sort of fighting within the range of the W. So we are going to be getting into game here shortly. But another thing that I want to mention about this draft is as I look across Super Late Reveal's team composition, it feels to me like they got out with the best deal of all time. They are playing extreme comfort in every single role. Luru gets the signature Twitch, Guilty gets the signature Xerath, and Anti gets his famously banned Aurelia. This is a character that has been banned away from Anti for as long as I've been casting both the Heroic and the Mythic League, just because he's so powerful and has shown a capability of taking over games on it. Now he gets it, and he gets it into a Maokai, a somewhat passive laner. So I'm very excited to see whether or not Doyon and Stormbless are going to be able to combine their powers together and maybe punish that pick. Otherwise, I'm worried that Anti is going to take over this game.
Well, if you are going to win your first game, then it sounds like this is the one to do it against and put all the doubters wrong. And I mean, have fun while you're at it. And I'm sure these guys do exactly that. See the teams line up in this early game. Of course, it's going to be nice and safe. No cheesy invades. I'm still waiting for that one when I'm on here. But look, Lilia will end up starting the blue. She clears the jungle relatively very quickly. So keeping up with pure llama will be no problem for Doyon in this one. Graves kind of goes at the same pace as well. And we will see where that pressure, if these junglers will meet up here. Most certainly, if Graves ends up passing up to Storm on that Maokai, you have all the CC to try and lock down and get the first blood on that Aurelia.
Yeah, so RLS Anti certainly sitting in that top sign, ready to get going. Um, it's been very interesting to watch RLS and SLR sort of play with and against each other in both the Mythic and Heroic League. This is an organization that has been with Friend or Foe for an extremely long time, and they've all been, long-standing friends. So to see them field two slightly different rosters between Heroic and Mythic has been very interesting. I think um, Tef and Anti have looked very good in both leagues, as well as Escape. Right, Escape actually playing support in the Heroic League has looked pretty solid as well. So it's always fun to see these players, try out different roles and also be so committed to the game that they're willing to play, multiple leagues because they just love the competition so much.
And being involved, it really it puts a big question mark over you, right? It's basically you want to try and field the best team that you can, have fun in the process, and that's big as well. We see the fully stacked Ionian Fever, but Anti realizes that he can just walk that one out. Storm's not going to get the twisted advance. I mean, potentially you could have went on there, hit him back if he did take that. He is only level 2 in the top lane right there, but we did see Tef try and get an engage on at the level 1 and pays with it with a lot of damage. No pots left on this Rakan as MF and Ash. This is traditionally what you're going to see. They're just going to poke the Twitch all the way back and should be relatively comfortable in Luru to pick up that CS under the turret there.
Yeah, so Anti, gonna go ahead and back with the traditional treater recall, which is where you manage to stack the wave on wave 3 when you have the cannon wave. You push that all the way in, and then you immediately reset. And as you can see, sort of on your mini map, Stormbless does not have the wave clear to be able to full push that tower in before Anti is able to return to lane. So now, in a bit of a precarious position because he's going to be down items for the short window, and Anti has a small lead here, just able to get that full health and mana back. So really smart decision making in the early laning phase. I also want to direct your attention to both junglers as they've sort of finished up their first clears. Both of them just opting to trade sides of the map and try and farm up as best they can. But look at this, Anti
Yep.
going in.
Flawless duet, it's going to land as well. Get the double cast of that Blade Surge, fully stacked passive as well. There's a lot of damage coming out. Storm will get the back off here, but this gives Anti the ability to try and freeze this wave. You can chop it down right there. Aurelia is super good at last hitting the minions, as everybody knows, this champion. It's super interesting to see this matchup. The disengage from the Maokai is going to be important here. But look at this roam right here. This is super intelligent play coming through from Tef. They've realized that Maokai hasn't had an opportunity to get into the river here, so they know that there is no ward. So can Maokai survive this? We're going to see. Grand Entrance going to land as well. Flawless Duet as well. He's fully stacked passive. Gets a Q off, and he's going to get out with that one. Ignite was actually dropped as well because they thought that they had enough damage to kill him. But he did get that back off, and that's probably what saves his life right there.
Yeah, Guilty maybe in a bit of trouble here. Gonna land the stun and should be able to walk on out.
Oh,
My goodness.
one more might have been enough. Okay, Swirl Seed, Pure Llama.
Oh
Just
my
gonna
goodness.
delete Graves. Doyon, where did it go? Rakan back in mid lane, and Sundubu needs to respect that roam as we see Tef just making proactive plays, but that wasn't even Tef. That was Pure Llama just being on the ball.
Yeah, I cannot believe how much sweet spot damage Pure Llama just did on the Lilia. And you could tell that Doyon was surprised too, had access to the flash, saw the ability coming, and was just like, yeah, I probably live here. But no, Pure Llama knows the numbers exactly and just picks up an easy first blood. And already I'm really liking SLR's early game because you can tell that they came into this game with an early game plan. They set up the early wave advantage topside. Tef comes, forces the teleport out from Stormblast and puts them in an uncomfortable position, then rotates down bottom and might look for a play right here.
Yep. Battle Dance back on, Grand Entrance. Okay, he's going to get the recast of that one as they look to re-engage this. Exhaust going to be dropped onto the Rakan. He's walking like a Microsoft PowerPoint slideshow. Any PowerPoint slideshow enthusiast, that's going to be right back at you, but they're going to be okay in this one. Leaving that Twitch in the bot lane is always going to be a safe spot for them. Really, they don't have any kill pressure until those level 6 comes through for the MF and for the Ash, but Doyon, okay, they're going to root up Pure Llama. He might get a kill back here. He does exactly that as he counters that's Crab just doesn't belong to you. Flash going to be expelled right there, and that pressure is just the Rakan landing all these knockups, and it's paying off.
Yeah, finally able to trade a win back. Fat Pikachu able to find the catch in the river. Again, SLR continuing to play to their strengths, continuing to make this Maokai feel uncomfortable, um, and even continuing to chunk him out. Oh my goodness.
It's going to leave him at 75% there. Level 6 on that Aurelia too, so that kill threat becomes even more worrisome for the Maokai. Looking to get another back off here. No teleport available, but we'll be able to just walk back to lane. By the time he does that, Anti getting full control on the top side here. Most definitely playing to the strengths. And Lilia, unfortunately, gets caught out that one time, just with the roam potential. Twisted advance, and Maokai's not to be scoffed at. The way that this champion can set it up, but look, Sondubu, how fancy is your feet? It's going to be good enough to get out of that one. Is guilty, trading over heavily, and the victor's going to have to go back here.
Yeah, and this is what I talked about when I said SLR, really getting all comfort characters. You can see the results of that right now. Guilty, making Sundubu his puppet, making him dance there. And Anti, continuing to build this lead up about 20 CS because Sundubu has to reset. He's forced to teleport mid. That means that they're going to be slow to maybe, get prio for this dragon play. So again, SLR just keeping the pressure up.
And everything considered here, it's not a bad spot for Fat Pikachu, honestly. Both of the junglers trading over their lives for kills. Not simultaneously, but the pathing of these guys is something you need to keep your eye on. Pure Llama making way back up to the red side right there as we see Maokai. Not sure if it's on just the ward duty in there, but as just hovering right now, waiting for Graves to join the fray to try and make a play here potentially. Yeah, going to be on Shelly here. Lilia is in the vicinity too, so we'll spot that being done. Storm, Doyon right here. No movement from the Victor. Zerath's going to be there first. Twisted advance onto Pure Llama. Knocks him back. Just a second. Smoke screen already used. And their champions are just too strong that they want to take that. And they're not up favorable members for it either. As they move the bot lane as well. Spray and pray.
Oh,
Going to get knocked up soon. Dubu just going to get blown to pieces in that mid lane. Not respecting that roam right there, Zen Zen, and they pay for it with their mid laner.
yeah, great roam from SLR to stop the early Rift Herald. Luru and Tef, making moves. This has been a move that they've been doing consistently throughout the Mythic League. Knowing exactly when they can sort of shadow up to the top side. They also get that early prio in that bottom lane, which means Blackpink Trash just sort of stuck there farming for a while, gives them the opportunity, gets the counter push for the mid lane, picks up a kill on Sundubu, and walks away with the Rift Herald. So big W for SLR.
Yeah, very important to keep your eyes on that one. Flawless duet. Okay, Anti gets a full Conqueror stack so quickly on this Aurelia and kind of looks super comfortable, like you already touched on, and really driving home the pressure that this champion can bring to the Rift right now. And Lilia is all over it. They foil that attempt at taking Shelly right there. They don't give them that. Now, the dragon is still up. There hasn't been any proactive plays around it right now. I don't think there is any vision that's going to spot out Lilia anytime soon. There's just too much risk going over that side of the jungle. So it might be another opportunity for SLR to secure the second objective of the game.
Yeah. Now credit to Fat Pikachu. They're doing a good job of withstanding this early bit of pressure. Only about a 1,500 gold lead. Separates these two teams. And Sundubu has looked pretty solid on this victor. Yes, he was forced to recall early, but he is, exactly on pace in terms of items, continuing to scale up, and again is still incredibly effective in these longer engagements when he's able to make use of his range. It does look like SLR is starting things up at the bot side while we have a fight top.
Fortunately for Makai, has the Bramble available. Oh, good stun coming out to stop Tef's engage right there. That was actually the quickness that was popped. So the Rakan ultimate down for this dragon fight if they want it. They did pull it out of the pit, but we want to have a look at what's going on in this top lane right here. Bramble picked up for the Makai, going to keep him nice and healthy in that one, along with the Bami Cinder. Tef going to take a bit of damage, going to engage straight on the Victor. He's going to get stunned up by the Xerath. The chain CC is good here as we see this engaging fight. Ultimate goes down from Maokai. He's actually winning that. Oh, Vanguard's Edge was used as well. We're going straight back down to the bottom. It's a clean smite, and it's going to go over to Lilia and SLR. Pick up the second objective of the game.
Yeah, so great movement from SLR, able to take that dragon. Um, Unfortunately, with this four-man composition that was in the bot side for Fat Pikachu, it's very hard for these four in particular to try and like push an objective because they're just four squishy guys and they don't have a lot of crowd control. Additionally, very crucially, Kaisi's Enchanted Crystal Arrow was down for that dragon. I feel like had they had access to that ultimate, that fight could have broken out and been a lot more dicey. However, SLR knows their limits, knows exactly what they can go for. They hold the choke point, they get the objective, and they walk away and continue to accelerate their lead.
And I think for the trade off for that, because it was Kaiser that actually stopped the Rakan engage. And I feel like if she didn't do that, then they're in all sorts of trouble. That quickness getting on to multiple members down there. So will it be a good off trade? I mean, not giving over kills for gold right now. An early dragon is not the end of the world for sure. They can definitely try and pivot around this, but now we're seeing that first item coming through from Aurelia. It's going to be the Bladed Ruined King, going to definitely help in that 1v1 right there. See the Herald spawned in the mid lane. Good twisted advance to dodge that flawless duet. Not going to get the re-engage of the Blade Surge. Knock back, and that mid lane turret right now is just it's dwindling right here, Zenzen.
Yeah, it feels to me like SLR is in control of the momentum of this game, and they've posed two questions. Question number one, SLR is asking, "What are you going to do about this Aurelia?" They need to find a way to either get Stormbless off into the
Oh,
side lane or get this Aurelia out of here. Because as you can see, this lane is not getting easier, particularly as Anti has picked up that life steal and is just going to be able to out sustain the Maokai from this point on. That's question one that Team FP need to answer. Question number two, what are you going to do about Guilty's poke? Because this is looking extremely nasty. As you see Sundubu chunked low again, the ultimate burn, and he has to burn the flash to walk out of that one.
yeah, that right of the arcane doing a lot of damage, but Guilty is without summoners here. He's going to get tagged by that upgraded laser coming through from Victor, and now it starts to get a little bit better for the Victor if you can try and dodge those skill shots for sure. Try and stay healthy as you can, but when you get those Hextech upgrades, it's really going to emphasize what you can do in your lane. Try and keep up with clearing the waves, but you're kind of just seeing the full force of this top side prio, right? They're super strong. Lilia's just going to walk in and take the blue buff straight in front of the Graves. Wants to grump as well. Stormbless, he has to be careful here. Has to burn the flash, but he's in range. Okay, the ultimate's going to delay it. Oh, that was actually a really nice outplay. Twisted advance, but he knocks Llama into the safe zone outside of the turret. Collateral damage. Not going to secure it, but Doyon goes right across with Lilia. Gets a kill on the opposing jungler. Kaizi gonna have to flash that one. Luru right there with the spray and pray collects another one. They're gonna trade one. Actually, it's 2-for-1 in favor of SLR.
And look at this. Luru able to sneak his way out of there. Sundubu now on the ward, gonna get
Oh,
chucked down.
full combination from Guilty right there and Sundubu. Gravity field down, but Aurelia across, dodges it anyway. Hits Dion with the flawless duet, so has a resurgence of that blade surge and goes right under the turret. Doesn't even care for the damage. A kill going over to this Aurelia.
Yeah, SLR looks so good right now, so in control of this top side. Again, the shift up from Luru and Tef, continues to allow them to make plays around the top side of the map. They will trade top for bottom turret, so at least Blackpink is getting a bunch of farm, up now 20 CS. But with two kills picked up on the Twitch, I think that SLR is happy to take that trade.
Yeah, Twitch also with that Bladed Ruin King completed, so it's definitely going to help chopping through this big tree in the top lane here. Is Malachi not having a bad game of it? Just seems to be lacking behind in terms of reinforcements when it comes to these collapsing team fights in the Aurelia. It's just a little bit ahead of the curve right now, but we take a look at the gold lead here. It is only 3,000, everything considered. Fat Pikachu still well within this game. 20 seconds on the next dragon as they look to make a play potentially in the mid lane. Tef going to get tagged by that arrow straight from Kaizi, but they're going to walk that one away. Not wanting to use that enchanting crystal arrow for anything offensively so far. Be important where they try and land this, and if they land it right, it could spell big rewards for this team.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Fat Pikachu pull the trigger there. Because of the late recall from Luru, they had a window where they maybe could have pushed in, but once again, they've ceded control of the river, and this is where Guilty's champion shines the best. Really able to poke things out and delay things. And once again, Stormbless trapped in that top side, so it's going to be a very difficult engage. If Fat Pikachu wants to take it, they need to land those arrows.
And you're just seeing 2 teleports available in the top side right there. Make It Rain going to separate the rest of the team. So they are going to crack this turret. First turret. No, it was the second turret of the game. I beg your pardon. Bot lane. Tier 1 was already taken. And they're going to start up this dragon. Luru, Pure Llama, Tef, all around it here. Hawkshot's going to go wide. I think it did spot the Twitch right there. So they know this is going down, but it's already gone. Just a little bit behind the pace in terms of keeping up with these objectives.
Yeah, and you can see already Stormbless has not completed the damage item just yet. No Sunfire Cape available, so really unable to put the damage into Anti, and he's just going to get walked down here.
Yeah, Vanguard's Edge, unfortunately, it's going to land as well as the MF here to keep him alive. Right at the Arcane's going to secure 1 Anti. Still going to go down, so the MF trades over. There's a little bit more gold in the pocket of that one, but now you're seeing the power of Guilty and that ultimate. See the dive in the bot lane soon. Dubu on borrowed time. He's gone. Ultimate not available. Well, it wasn't even enough to try and trade over in that bot side. Tef and Luru just doing things right here, Zen Zen.
Yeah, Sindubu knew that he was in trouble, knew that he was, in a dangerous situation in the 2v1. Unfortunately, Gravity Field not connecting onto either Tef or Luru means that they're just able to just walk past and take an easy dive. And I wanna highlight this team from SLR because I think going into this season, when we looked across the league at all of these different bot lanes, I did not expect Luru and Tef to be as strong as they are. Fight breaking out, though.
Gonna go to sleep. The Graves Edge combination from Llama. Gonna get the exhaust on. That's probably what keeps Doyon alive. He's still burning. Oh! He ain't walking no more. Doyon goes down with the burn coming through from that Leandri.
Yeah, Pure Llama just willing to take the fight anywhere, anytime, and just has that damage. Of course, Lilia's passives, when stacked with the Leandries, can be a lot of burn damage on the way out. And with that, they've accelerated their lead to 6,000 gold. Back to my point earlier, though, Luru and Tef have looked so good, not just in this game, but in this tournament. As a pair, it feels like they really know what they want to do, and they can play so aggressively, particularly with Lura on these characters like Twitch, that enables Tef to really start off a fight anywhere. It just looks so good for them, and I think it's grown into a real strength of this team.
Having those incredible synergies, right? It goes further than anything else. It really is what dictates how you can run a game. If you have a pairing like this, the understanding, like Zenzen's already pointed out, it really makes it an easy ride going into every single game that you can potentially win or lose, right? And you can definitely learn from that. And it looks like right now with Luru and Tef, they're on each other's wavelength. They know when to disengage. They know exactly the champion's limits. We've seen Tef roaming at level 3, level 2, level 3, all the way to the top side, leaving the Twitch alone and didn't give up anything in that bot side.
Yeah, and this is the period in the game where SLR's composition really comes online. They've got everything. They have pick potential with Luru sort of, skulking in the shadows, able to pop out at any time. They have incredible siege thanks to Guilty Xerath. When paired in combination with the Lilia, can absolutely just snipe people from downtown and putting out so much damage and pressure, and they're diving.
Oh, good dodge, but is it enough, right? The Arcane's going to help out with that one. His anti goes under the turret, secures the death of MF. 2 more shots coming out from Guilty just to pad the KDE stats. The damage charge definitely there for the Xerath in this game. 1-0 and 5 does not reflect how this man has played. He's hitting them from all over the map. This artillery is just an onslaught.
Yeah, and as I was saying, it's just so difficult from this point to handle this combination of characters. You have to answer Anti in the side lane, but the only person who can stand up to him is Graves and maybe Maokai at this point, can hold a lane, but they can't necessarily engage onto Aurelia. Meanwhile, in mid, you're getting outranged by the Xerath, and there's a Twitch hiding somewhere. This is one way to
Oh,
do it, though.
Tef just going to disengage that one. Rakan is just one of those champions. So hard to lock him down, especially when you think you got him. Important cooldown as well. Enchanting Crystal Arrow already gone for Ash, but receiving multiple CDR at the minute as well, so that should be up momentarily. So not a long cooldown at all. This stage in the game, 22 minutes, as we see that goal lead still the 7,000. MF going to have to try and run away from this one, just getting poked out by Guilty to stun. Oh, good sidestep to get away from that one, or it would have surely spelled the second death of the game for the AD carry.
Yeah, so Blackpink is going to be able to retreat, and with the Misfortune move speed, should be able to be back on the map in time for this dragon. I say that, though, and Kaisi may be in a bit of trouble. Pure Llama is doing such a great job of controlling space before this objective spawns.
And I think that is just a compliment to the victor right there, as Pure Llama chooses to disengage rather than risk anything, going on to the Ash and killing her. And now the dragon just spawned, so maybe that was in the thoughts too. And they're in full control of this bot side river, so it's very difficult to try and contest this. This Aurelia still pushing, teleport available. See what happens with this one. Doyon lurking over the wall. Maokai walking up fearlessly. Dragon's going to reset. Oh, he's going to get comboed to half health. Oh, that swirl seed actually lands on the MF.
Guru's
MF going to go low.
behind.
Oh my, here we go. Xerath, the damage is just so much. Doyon going to get Blaze Surge. Okay, it really is in the backside, even though the exhaust is used. Vanguard's edge going to go wide. Ash going to go low, going to fall as well. They're going to collapse onto the Victor. That's going to be an ace, and it's going to be a clean ace going through for SLR.
Yeah, SLR, they know exactly what they need to do, putting all the pieces together for this team fight. Luru gets the incredible flank, Pure Llama popping off, just landing those seeds left and right, not only able to slow down Blackpink and chunk them early, but also able to catch the flash over the wall. And this clean ace is just going to further accelerate this lead. They're going to take the Dragon, they're going to take a tier 2 bottom turret, and they're looking at Baron right now.
And you see no hesitation from Anti right there. Teleport straight to the bot lane, trying to push that objective gold as much as they can. And that's exactly what they're going to do here. They have so many tools to try and force this game. And really, Fat Pikachu, they're running out of time here.
Yeah, I think the electric mouse might be delivered yet another loss. It's not over yet. They still have, a couple of tools to get these fights started. I would like to see Stormbless make use of that Flash Maokai route. It's an incredibly powerful way to start a fight. They just need to find the right ones. And maybe they'll be able to call themselves back from defeat. But at this stage in the game, I feel like if Fat Pikachu takes a straight 5-on-5 5-on-5 fight, they lose every time. They got to be tricksy in order to come back here.
Getting those picks, super important. Like Zenzen just pointed out, you need the vision for it though. And in order to get this vision, you have to send multiple members. Look at this. It's just Tef sitting there doing enough to actually try and make them think that this blue buff is going to be under a severe contest. Very unfortunate not to get away with that one. So it's going to feel good for Doyon as he limps away from his topside jungle. And they're looking to start the siege here. But they still have a victor. They still have wave clear. They have methods to try and deal with this push. Bullet time is there as well. I don't think we've even seen MF cast this in the team fight so far.
Yeah, it's just been so difficult to find the right angle. As this mid turret gonna go down, bot side already taken out as well, and they've got to find a way to pull the trigger here. Stormbless continuing to get bullied out in this bot side as well.
Anti is going to feel the full wrath of that. Vanguard's edge, Rakan down here, nothing taken. Going to hold off on that reactivation of the Blade Surge. And Anti just putting the pressure. They have to send multiple to try and answer this, but what they leave is the mid lane fully exposed to get sieged on, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to take out this one. All this just coming through that Aurelia right now.
This is the
Enchanted Crystal
window.
Arrow is going to go on Xerath. If this is the time to do it. Rakan just going to get melted by that bullet time. Twisted Advance going to go on Lilia. Try and get the sleep on. It's only going to go to Maokai. Spray and pray. Straight on the Doyon. He's flashing away to try and save his life here. Right to the Arcane. Dodging MF is. Here comes Anti again. The man who started it all. He's going to start it up again. This could be the end of the
Oh.
game. Double back. Goodbye, Ash. Storm Bless trying to do the best he can. Pseudo Widow, you're never my favorite Pokemon, but you're going to go down in this one. Triple kill goes over Eluru as they look to seal out the game. The only one standing between them and defeat right now is MF, and she doesn't want to leave that Nexus turret. Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't either. It's a good decision, Blackpink. This one's over. SLR, just drive it home at the end here.
Yeah, SLR, what a performance. Securing once again a three-way tie for the #1 spot and really proving why they're such an effective team. Um, this combination of characters that they have a solid, strong top laner who can take over a game. They have this artillery mage specialist in the mid lane, and they have this AD carry player that really feels like he can do anything and is particularly terrifying when he's put in that ambush position, such as on the Twitch. With this combination of characters, you can see that it is so difficult to shut down this team. They know exactly what they need to do, and they just continue to put the hammer on FP. I do want to say Fat Pikachu had a couple of moments of brilliance there. I think that last fight, if they had a little bit more gold, the start of it was great. They found the window. Aurelia splitting in the side lane. They have time where they're going to be up a person, and they find a pick. Unfortunately, just down too much gold to turn things around. But I have high hopes from this team as we move later into the season because I think that they can really grow, and they deserve a W. Hopefully, they'll get one as we move forward.
Absolutely. And it's really unfortunate because I feel like Storm up in that 1v1 had a few moments, honestly, where you thought, maybe it's going the Maokai's way. But ultimately, Aurelia is that champion. Once it starts snowballing, it's almost irreversible, the damage that it can cause. And Anti just going big again in this one, and it really proven, I can do it all. I can play the support, I can steal the Baron. I might not get wins on that, but you put me in the top lane on my favorite champion, I'm going to try and carry the game as best I can. But just one last thing before we get an interview for the winning team tonight. We didn't even touch on Luru. I feel like Twitch wasn't even mentioned in most of these team fights just because there's so much going on. The Xerath damage coming through the Lilia, and by the time that Twitch came in with the spray and pray to finish everybody off, it was just the recipe that this AD carry needed to really pad the stats in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I for one cannot wait to hear from one of the SLR's members to see how they felt about that game, because I thought that they have continued to refine this style, and every single member of their team has sort of stepped up over the past couple weeks. But don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back after a short break to hear from our winners and close out Friend or Foe Week 3.
Hello folks, Chris Edgeworth here with our last interview tonight, joined by anti-top laner from the victorious Super Late Reveal. How are you feeling?
Hello. I'm feeling quite happy. I honestly enjoyed how that game went quite a bit. I mean, any game that I do manage to play Irelia, I'm probably always going to be happy, win or lose, whether or not I'm feeding or, farming. It's always a good time.
Yeah, it looked like it was a fun time for you. Let's set the table with the draft. Of course, you in the end do pull out what I believe was the R5 Irelia?
It was the last pick Irelia, yes.
Yes, and then also Pure Llama on Deer Duty this game. Another Xerath game being pulled out today. If I had a nickel for every Xerath game today, I'd have 2 nickels, but it'd be weird that it happened twice.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be too many, but yeah, a trend's a trend.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about the drafts.
I mean, as far as draft is concerned, right? Llama, Abdul, he just kind of stepped in for Brendan, as Brendan wasn't able to play today. So, managed to step up really, really well, performed incredibly well on the Lilia. And now Guilty, I feel kind of bad. We were talking about like, okay, well, what are the possibilities of fun things that you could play here? And Guilty's like, okay, I can play LeBlanc. I don't really want to play another Xerath game. And I was like, yeah, sure. We can go with LeBlanc or we can go with Xerath. Either one's fine. And Guilty's like, screw it, give me the Xerath, right? So we went into this with the idea that we're just gonna pick a really easy to execute comp. And we come out of it picking a really hard to execute comp, but with a bunch of comfort picks.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it that way and just figure it out in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
I will note.
Go ahead.
I will note that we did actually have a moment where he's just kind of sitting there with R5, and Luru says, we actually have a really good Malphite angle here. But I've been playing a lot of Malphite lately. I don't really want to play the Rockman if I see an Irelia angle, so I said no. I'm just gonna go for Irie. We already banned out the Shen, we banned out Pantheon. I don't really think that they have anything that I can't play into. So when we saw the Maokai, I was like, yeah, we slammed the Irelia.
Well, it obviously paid off. Let's talk about the top lane gameplay yourself in this game in general. I mean, 19-4. It's a pretty brutal dub coming out from your team. You of course were doing exceptionally well in the top lane early. You had the matchup that you counterpicked for. Talk to me a little bit, if you would, about just sort of walking this win in, playing steady, not giving an inch.
A large part of it. So before every set, like before every game, really, I played a lot of Irelia, and I played a lot of other top laners. But despite how much I do play those champions, I always look up a VOD of recent high elo game, and I just watch it. I was like, all right, well, how are they playing it? How can I play around this? So I looked around and I didn't like what I saw, so I completely disregarded it and decided to go Q at level 1 and try to cheese. I haven't really played into the new mini reworked Maokai until today, but I I just don't really think that there's enough that Maokai can do in the matchup early on for me to not want to just pump out damage early.
Let's switch gears and look forward. Second round robin is on the horizon, coming soon. I think still one more match before it officially begins. But what are your thoughts on your team's strengths and at your rivals as we get ready for the second round robin?
If I'm gonna be honest here, so this might be the second round robin of the split. I, however, was stuck in Ohio for about half of the split, so I actually have only played top lane in 2 games so far for this team, which has resulted in some pretty interesting little escapades. I think that counting my heroic games over the last 4 games from returning from Ohio, I've died 4 times. So going forward, we always had intended for Pure Llama to be the starting mid laner and me to be the starting top laner. So I think that the second split of round robins might end up looking pretty different from the SLR that we might have seen earlier on, but I don't think that we're going to be winning any less.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Anti, for this interview. Before we step away, I want to give you your opportunity. Any final thoughts, any shout-outs, any banter on the desk?
Well, I mean, as always, another dub for the Ruby League server.
And there you have it, folks. That's going to be it for this week's Mythic action. We'll be back on Thursday with some heroic games starting same time, 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. So please join us then. That's going to be it for us on the desk for the whole cast today. Thanks to all of our staff who make it possible, all of our teams out there competing, and all of our fans watching at home. Thanks, everyone. We'll be back on Thursday. See ya, and have a good night.
If you